What's up, everybody? Happy hump day. It's the REKAP Lunch Hour with Guff. Me, Ryan McGuffey here, brought to you by our fine partners at Hooters. You guys know the drill. Go to originalhooters.com to find one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. And my God, I'm not going to talk about the weather much, but happy hump day. I've got a coffee going here at 12:30. Fully branded out, by the way. Got REKAP logo merch everywhere. Merch coming to you soon. Cubs off and running as they try to take the series from the Miami Marlins. The question posed on social, and I'm hoping that I'm laughing back at some of you now about your concerns about flipping Kyle Tucker. My goodness, the Kyle Tucker debate. Why are we so concerned? Yesterday, a lot of you were like, he better start hitting. He's going to play him. He's playing himself out of Chicago. What did he do yesterday? Home run on his first at bat, 3-hit day. What did he do about 10 minutes ago? Home run in his first at bat. He's a dude, okay? Cade Horton, not making easy work of it himself in a 24-pitch here first inning. Bases loaded, 1-1 game for those of you who are not watching the game. But come on, why are we so concerned about Kyle Tucker? For real. Eric, great bounce back win for the Cubs yesterday. Kyle Tucker will get productive again in the Cubs lineup, so no worries about that. Let's get the series win today. Go Cubs. Speaking of Tucker, he just hit a home run, 1-0. So pump the brakes on Tucker. That's what I've been saying the whole time. I mean, come on. You guys, you've been wanting a superstar like Kyle Tucker for a long time, and then we're getting all worried. My God, Brack, what's up, my bro? Happy Wednesday to you, my friend. Landon, lunch hour roll call. Happy Wednesday, Guff. Lip Ripper, TRT. Who's TRPS? Why am I forgetting that? And am I forgetting anyone? Oh, Clyde, Eli, what's up, my man? You're watching me, Chuck, and Ozzy. That's a pretty good threesome, man. We're old friends, worked together for a long amount of years. I got Chuck and Ozzy on that screen right there to my left. The weather is miserable, says Jess. Kyle Tucker, not so much. Great to see him. And Seiya Suzuki in a home run foot race last night. By the way, speaking of Seiya Suzuki, I'm glad you brought him up. I was looking at his RBI totals, and I'm like, dear Lord, by default, this guy is here. RBI leaders. You know who's tied for first in baseball? Seiya Suzuki. He is tied with one Aaron Judge for the most RBI in all of baseball. 43 RBI as we come down the stretch here in May. You're talking about a guy that's well on pace for 120 plus. Eli, let's go for the series. I know Eli's talking about the White Sox, who in a very impressive fashion, Adrian Hauser signed yesterday, gets the start, goes 6 scoreless. Incredible stuff. What's up, Clyde? Who do you see the Cubs trading for to get a closer? We brought a lot of names up yesterday. There's just not a lot of teams out there right now, I think, in the market to trade closers. Finnegan from the Washington Nationals is somebody I would certainly consider. I would probably look at Kenley Jansen from the LA Angels. The guy's done it for a long time at a high rate. I'd have to look in the deeper metrics of him performing for a team that's absolutely miserable in the LA Angels. But we know with Kenley Jansen, and he did it against the Cubs for a number of years, we know that he's got a long track record. He's one of the best closers of all time. I'm going to bring him up. I bet you he's a top 7 or 8 career. Look at that, 4th. Kenley Jansen is 4th all time. Only Lee Smith, Trevor Hoffman, and Mariano Rivera have more saves all time than Kenley Jansen. Somebody I probably would consider. Kyle, happy Wednesday to you. Kyle Tucker must have been listening to the lunch hour yesterday. 3 for 4 with a homer. Hits a homer to start today. No concern on my end, as all great players go through slumps. It's May 21st. I said this to you guys yesterday, and now his OPS is even higher. Kyle Tucker, his OPS plus through the slump, okay, after yesterday was 156. All right, OPS plus, the league average is 100. So you're a league average player if you're 100. Pete Crow Armstrong, really good year, insane year, as a matter of fact. His OPS plus is 145. Pete Crow Armstrong's average, 17 points higher. His slug is 30 points higher. He's got another one. Well, they're tied in home runs right now. Pete Crow Armstrong has more RBI. Yet the OPS plus is coming from Kyle Tucker. You got to look at the big picture here, folks. Good afternoon to the real Phil Simms. Good win last night No one has to jump off Wacker Bridge ever, really at any point. You don't have to. But these issues aren't resolved. They will not be seen as a serious World Series contender. Well, again, it's May 21st as we sit here with this fine program. And for those of you tuning in for the bet of the day, that's coming soon. It's starting to get momentum, folks, as it should have been for quite some time. The bet of the day on fire. Until the Cubs make their trades for a starter and I think an actual closer, you're right. They probably shouldn't be considered World Series contenders. Clyde, you've already had 2 more comments up than most people on this entire show. Oh, the real Phil Simms, Landon. There you go. Who says he can DH? I'm assuming you're talking about Kyle Tucker, who's been DHing the last couple of games, including today. Sometimes that's a way to get him a break. Hell yeah. Let's go, Saya. The champs beat the brakes off of the Canes last night. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a short series. By the way, Oilers in 6. Phil, there was a great stat heading into last night from OptaStats. A great follow, by the way. The Florida Panthers had outscored teams 33-17 on the road this series. All time, the best in the NHL. I looked at Cap and I said, well, sounds like we need to be taking the Florida Panther because of that number. And now they've outscored teams by 19 goals on the road. I would certainly consider the Panthers tomorrow night in game 2 of that series. What's up, Lip? You are welcome. Cubs fans went to the game last night and took the Marlins money line. Lip, I love it, man. The weather down there, they're bragging about it. They were bragging about it on the broadcast. It's something we're certainly sure as hell not bragging about here. I mean, we are just trying to keep, if it's raining, fine. Give me some temperatures. My goodness. Kyle, here are the stats for the last 3 World Series champs through their first 49 games. Last year, the Dodgers were 32-17. 23, the Rangers were 31-18. 22, 31-18. Cubs only 2-3 off that pace. Not crowning them yet, but an interesting stat. That is very interesting. As a matter of fact, as I look here, I'm guessing that the Detroit Tigers probably fit 32-17. Maybe it's time to put a futures bet on the Detroit Tigers. 32-17 through 49 games after looking at that stat right there is pretty interesting. Keep those bet of the days coming, Chef. I will, buddy. I'm glad I saw your comment that you hopped on late yesterday in search of the bet of the day. Hope you took them both, my friend. Hope you took them both. I'm going to keep them coming. I got one for you, cooked up for you later that, honestly, I really like. Good afternoon, David. Missed Monday's take on this past weekend series. Tuned in late yesterday. I was wondering your take on the White Sox recent fundamental play. We were told it was going to be a point of emphasis. Your thoughts, sir? Yeah, disappointing specifically in the Cubs series because coming into that series, what they had done leading up to it, taking 2 out of 3 from Miami, taking 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati, the fundamental play, the reason that they had gotten those series wins, they had won 3 in a row at one point, 4 out of 5, is because they were playing well-rounded baseball. They weren't, the one thing they weren't doing, and that won't, I think this will continue. They're not a good hitting baseball team. I don't expect that to change at any point. They have a couple of bright spots and just an offense that is catastrophically bad. They went into the Lions' den and did not play well. I don't know if they got consumed by Wrigley Field in the crosstown series, but I did not think they played well. They played much better, cleaner baseball yesterday. Didn't score, got 1. Was enough in yesterday's case. So I think David's going to be part of the ebbs and flows of this team. I like to see who's booting the ball, who's making those mistakes. Are they coming from young guys? If they are, it needs to get cleaned up. The accountability, I'm not worried about the accountability. I've been around that club long enough to hear what people are getting from Will Venable, and they absolutely love what they're seeing so far from Will Venable. Looks like Matt Shaw has found something since being down. If he gives him anything from third, it's a wrap. And this is what I was saying from 2 weeks ago, that Matt Shaw is going to be back. Everyone's looking to acquire a third baseman, and I'm going, wait a minute. You got one. Why are you going to acquire a third baseman that you believe in long term? You believed in him long term. You got the guy here. Now just let Matt Shaw play. Let him play a clean third base. And offensively, as he continues to come along, he had a couple more hits last night. You might be getting something from a player that early in the season you wrote off. Lip, I'll tell you this for free. My eye test on PCA is dude will be a stud. Tucker, the Cubs fans need to leave him alone. He's an amazing to watch. Y'all are lucky to have him. Enjoy the ride. I keep trying to say, I said, who says I can't DH Suzuki? You could DH Suzuki, but right now, in a way to keep, by the way, Suzuki looked absolutely fantastic in left field when Ian Happ was on the IL. But when you're trying to give a guy a breather that you don't want to take out of the lineup in Kyle Tucker, you can switch your DHs around. Not true. I don't know where you're going with this, Clyde, every day. Cap's not here right now, but when he is, he does not ignore. We don't ignore. We encourage. We want conversation. We want debate. Watching the lunch hour and listening to Pat and Ron on the Score, a great way to spend a Wednesday afternoon. Appreciate you, Kyle. Breck, the Rockies made one more step closer. Here, let me start from the scratch here. The Rockies made one more step towards beating the Cleveland Spiders 18-99, 20 and 134 record. I think Breck was at the game last night. By the way, I think that the Rockies are very legitimately they may beat the White Sox from a year ago. They are horrifically bad. 7-4 final last night. They are 8-39. 8-39. Jess, great to have Ian Happ back. Such a solid player in the lineup. He might be having a slow start, but just his presence is important for battling. I totally agree. And it allows you, like today, PCA's hitting cleanup. It allows you to lengthen your lineup when you move him up, and you can move everybody else a peg or two down. Pacers Knicks tonight. Who you got? I'm cheering for Indiana based on the mistake by AK in drafting Halliburton over P-Will. Plus, never liked the Knicks growing up. Kyle, I never liked either one of these teams growing up. This is old classic 90s basketball. But as I've said, I love Tibbs. And it's hard for a Bulls fan to cheer for the Knicks. But I love Tom Thibodeau because in another mistake, they let Tibbs go when they shouldn't have. And Tibbs is now reaping the benefits and the rewards of the New York Knicks fan base because it's been fun to watch. You got Jalen Brunson, who's a local guy playing for the Knicks. Really hard to pick. You almost wish this was the NBA Finals. You really do. P-Will over Halliburton. Yeah, I got you. I know, Kyle, what you were saying. Are you happy with Shaw at third base, or do you think the Cubs should still go after a third baseman? Do you think the Cardinals would keep playing this well? I think I answered that first question just a minute ago. I am not trading for a third baseman. I'm not. I think that the needs are much greater in your pitching staff and your bullpen. And the Cardinals, at this point, they have the belief, and they, after turning things around and going on that long winning streak, we're at Memorial Day weekend coming up here. You know, at some point through 60, usually through 60 games, the team knows who they are. Maybe the Cardinals will. And certainly if the Cardinals become buyers, you know, I heard yesterday from Gordon on the Cubs Recap podcast, which is available on the channel and wherever you listen to podcasts, that the Phillies had already called about David Robertson once they figured out Alvarado was suspended for 80 games. They picked up the phone and called David Robertson. To Becky and other people's points, you got to kick the tires on them. I mean, you need to be better in the back end of your bullpen. The buzz and slow flow of the Panthers reminds me, wow, that's a pretty high praise. The Panthers do remind me. Quinville had that thing buzzing before he got canned and blackballed from the league for a while. He kind of reminded me of building it the way that the Hawks had. Question of the day for you. Do you think the Bears go after Trey Hendrickson, since it seems he like he wants out of Cincy? I think they're monitoring it daily. I do. This feels like a Khalil Mack situation from a few years ago when the Bears traded for him in Labor Day. The difference is this is Trey Hendrickson's third contract. And league circles tell you that teams get a little bit more tuned out or turned off by the idea of acquiring a player for a massive amount of draft capital in their third deal. Now, call it ageism, call it what you want. I can actually see that, but maybe you just keep calling, and as it does, the price go down as you get closer to the season. The guy said he's not playing in Miami for his current contract. We'll have to see. I did see your comment about that's why I brought David Robertson up. Who you got and who wins the NBA championship? Oh, Western Conference, Eastern Conference. I'm going Knicks, and I think you got to go Oklahoma City, even though I think selfishly I'd like Minnesota. I think Oklahoma City clearly the best overall team left in this tournament. I don't want them to win it all, though. So they're the easy pick for both of these answers, but I guess we'll have to see. Wait 1 minute. Where the hell's Godfather with his daily Ricketts powerbomb? Great point. Becky's not here today. Got a couple people taking the day off. Charles, Cubs wax that White Sox ass at Wrigley. We need to see what happens at the rate. Hey, Charles, thanks for being a few days late. We appreciate anytime you can sneak that in. I lost a pizza to my guy, Chef Paul. That's fine. No problem. Ooh, Lip, for those of you throwing some cash out, I have the Cubs run line today, but getting plus money on the money line is juicy. Thanks, Lip, for the pick there, right there. Swayze, Cards playing good ball, but I don't see the offense being able to keep it. Well, offensively, they won't be the Cubs, but maybe pitching-wise, I mean, they have a closer. We get any frontline pitching Cubs will put away over the summer, book it. I think the Cardinals are playing for a wild card anyway, personally, because I think the Cubs are going to win the division, but I see what you're saying. All right, so good place to watch the conference finals, Hooters. OriginalHooters.com, one of the 11 Chicago area locations nearest you. The tender tacos are a hit. The shrimp tacos can arguably even be better. Put the mango habanero sauce, the sweet, the heat, wash it all down with a Big Daddy mug full of summer shandy, full of Blue Moon, full of Dos Equis, or get a Paloma, $8. Remains the drink of the month through the month of May. The beautiful, the colorful Paloma, $8 all month. And of course, the cinnamon pretzel bites, the McGuffey staple. Order.hooters.com if you would like to get your order to go. Oklahoma City versus Indiana. Oklahoma City wins the NBA Finals according to Clyde. That's his pick. RIP to Chicago's own, everyone's favorite barstool guy, George Wendt. Passed away on the same day of the Cheers finale in 93. I saw that note. Pretty incredible. I'll miss him saying "Da Bears" on commercials. Cheers to Norm, the original barfly. And, I went through and looked at the Cheers cast ages yesterday and was like, damn, dude, like that's just who we are, man. We're getting old. Like all of them are in their mid to late 70s. Danny DeVito, 80. But what a series. What a guy. Had the opportunity a couple of times over the course of my career to bump into him, meet him, as we all tried to get him to do different stuff with us. Was a good guy to have around during the 2016 World Series. He showed his face here and there. But yes, RIP to the great George Wendt, for sure. David, what do you make of Soto's Yeah, I mean, Juan Soto isn't making himself really lovable in New York right now, not hustling out of the box when he hits a shot off of the green monster that only led to a single. And then in New York, was supposed to wear the mic on Sunday Night Baseball when the Mets were playing the Yankees. Didn't like the way he was being treated by the fans of New York in the Bronx. What do you expect? That's part of being a $700 million man is. And then also dodged the media on Sunday night to talk about it. Like, come on, dude. Who are you? When you're that guy, that dude, you're the face of the team. You're one of the faces of the league. You got to wear it. That's part of being that type of player. So it's a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous look. Good afternoon. Any word on the Blackhawks coaching search? We could see or hear news about this towards the end of the week that might lead to a press conference next week. We will wait and see. I talked to the great Pat Boyle earlier this week. He will come on here on the lunch hour to field your questions about the coach, the rebuild, free agency. He thinks it's going to be a really interesting free agency for the entire league. We'll see about the Blackhawks. He has agreed to come on to answer your questions. No doubt you guys know how I feel about the NWI. George Wendt for sure. Good one yesterday. SGA cashed on my parlay with a monster second half. Good day today. Josh, hey man, just like Lip Ripper, share your plays, my friend. I'm glad you cashed on our guy Julius Randle, because he has been, I've been saying, he has been nothing short of fantastic in the NBA playoffs. Saw an article where they say Matthews should be traded. Should the Hawks look into acquiring Austin Matthews? Yes. I mean, if Austin Matthews is available, you absolutely should look in to acquire him. It says he played through an injury all. This is what I love about the playoffs. When you start finding out these guys played through injury all year, 33 goals, 45 assists. You're talking about a guy who's led the NHL or led the conference in goals 3 of the last 5 years. And you're telling me there's a chance he's available? Oh my God, bring it on. The guy's a Richard Trophy winner, 1, 2, 3, a Hart Trophy. I mean, the guy's won a billion awards. He's only 27. Hockey guys are so ridiculously awesome. I mean, they're just built different. I'm going to look at Austin Matthews' contract. It shouldn't matter. He has, okay, so he's through 2027. 4 for 53 seems like an absolute steal at this point. So, Phil, yes, the Hawks should absolutely. Could you imagine Austin Matthews paired with Connor Bedard and how quickly the Blackhawks would get a kickstart and jump and be thrust into a possible wild card or more? Oh, baby. Soto's always been a total head case, says Swayze. Dude's just irritating, not paying all that well for the amount of money he's being paid. Yeah, he is just not been the guy. Now, again, I'll turn the back of the baseball card over and show you. I'll take Juan Soto 99 times out of 99, not even 100. If you're giving me that option, I'll take him. Josh, I got you, McGuffey, but last night was my first time in a while gambling again. I put Tarek Skubal over strikeouts and SGA over points because they always were reliable for me when I betted consistently. Well, there you go, Josh. Appreciate you. All right, here comes Lip Ripper's play as we get close to the bet of the day. Brunson over 9 and assists plus 125 and Connor McDavid to score at plus 140. Lip, I love it. By the way, the over hockey play, my friend, it cashed for you again last night. Once I start getting consistent, I got you. Josh Matthews to the Hawks, sign me up, right, Kyle? Kyle's our hockey guy. Have the prospects like the Cubs to make that deal with cap space. If Austin Matthews is available, first of all, you got an Eastern Conference team that probably, or no, it's Tampa Bay. Yeah, it's Tampa. It's an Eastern, like they want to, if they're going to trade him, they want him out of the East. They don't want to put him in the East. That would be interesting. Guff, looks like Soto regrets leaving the Yankees. Hey, when you leave the Yankees to stay in town but go to the other side, there's a lot more pressure on you than anywhere else. Adrian, would it be wild to say right now, I think the majority of teams would take PCA over Soto, especially with that contract. Wild to say when you think about this time last year. I mean, if you're stripping the contract away from it, yes, it's a wild thing to say. You're adding the contract to it. I don't know, Adrian. You're talking about one of the great players in the game and one of historically the greatest players right now, where he ranks with his age all time. I don't really know about that. It's because they're talking about breaking up the core 4 in Toronto, especially since Marner's leaving. And Marner has, I went back and looked at some of you guys who said he disappears. I brought it up with Pat. He does disappear when the lights get bright. Not sure I want to dive into that type of thing. Matthews, first line center. Connor Bedard, second line. Yes, please, every day of the week. Speaking of yes, please, every day of the week. Oh, boy. You know what? I left him in the car. We should be double wearing them today. We should be double wearing. Yesterday, the bet of the day. We went over 20.5 points with our guy, Julius Randle. We went over 25.5 assists or points and assists. Julius Randle, he had 28 points. Thank God, because I think he had 1 assist. That was a double cash. We count him as 2. I told you we were going to be 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2. That's a double win. We are up to 10-5 on the month. Okay, Karl Anthony Towns. We're going back to the hardwood tonight in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. A couple of things I want to talk to you guys about. He's played 18 games in his career against the Indiana Pacers. He's averaged 27-8 a game over his career. That's the highest. It's tied for the highest against any team. You know who the other team is? The Chicago Bulls. He has scored more points against the Indiana Pacers than any team in his entire career. Also, let me give you a couple other things. He has averaged 30.2 points a game in his last 11 games against the Pacers. 30.2 his last 11 games. This season in the 3 games with the Knicks, he dropped 30 and 40 in his last 2 games. I'm doing it, folks. This feels like everything tells you this total should be 25.5. 25.5 this total should be. And then I'd be a little bit more like, ooh, it's a big number. 22.5? Lip, you know where we like to go here, my friend. We like to say ladder. If you laddered, you told me you were going to ladder. I did not ladder yesterday. Stay away from, speaking of Lip, stay away from Marner. I did not ladder yesterday. Yeah, hey, when you can't get to where you need to go, teams start to rebuild. Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns needs to pick up the rebound totals. I don't care about the rebound totals today, Clyde. I don't care. I want him to score. Cash it. Great pick last night, Guff. Cat could have this in the first half. He has owned Miles Turner in his career. And maybe Cat doesn't do it, right? Like, that's always part of the betting. We're always a little leery of I'm not leery of this. Just like Julius Randle last night, I'm like, this total doesn't make sense. This total doesn't make sense to me. It might get fixed in games 2, 3, 4, whatever. But his career against the Pacers says 25.5. This total should be 25.5. We're going to go Karl Anthony Towns. Playing one bet tonight. Not going to get greedy and go 2 every time. But there are going to be times where I do a little research and say, man, I'm like, yesterday I gave you 2 because the total on Julius Randle's points and what the payout was plus money. I was like, we got to do them both. I think it's 50-50, but I could swing at Cat going over points. I'm just giving you the stats and the history here, Josh. It screams lay this. He's gone 23 or more, I think, in 9 of the last 11. I got to do it. Like, Cat, 22.5. Let's stay hot. Like, we get to 3 today. We get to 3 this week. You're looking at, is that 4 straight winning weeks? I mean, we're putting something together here, folks. Have a nice little May, and let's get it going. Because I think, look, it's not Jalen Brunson's point totals at 28.5. I'd lean under in that. I'd actually lean under. That's a high number. He's going to have to rely on that other guy, Cat being that guy who's abused Miles Turner. They're begging us to, right? Like, it seems like it should be at least 24. Definitely 25. Cat 6'11", 250 to 255, keeps scoring rebounds and blocks. I don't give a damn about his rebounds and blocks. When you're betting totals and his points, let's go. Like yesterday, Julius Randle had 0 points in the third quarter, but he had 20 in the first. We almost cashed in the first half, especially when Ant-Man went back into the locker room. I'm glad we settled the debate on. There are a couple people that weren't part of the show today that needed to hear it, Becky being one. Stop panicking about Kyle Tucker, okay? Stop panicking. He homered again today, and we're going to figure it out, and it's going to be fine. I would take the under on Brunson points. Naismith and Nembhard are going to be shadowing him. I think that's a good. How about 9 Brunson's? Hey, plus money. I like that, Lip. I like that a lot, actually. All right, it's been the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, brought to you by our fine folks at Hooters. Have a great day, everybody. Like, gosh, like the weather, like let's just get past this week because it's supposed to start flipping again. As we hit to June, it's time to flip and stay there. Come on, people. Let's go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. It's been the Recap Lunch Hour brought to you by our fine folks at Hooters, originalhooters.com. Visit one of the 11 Chicago area locations nearest you. Get those tender tacos. They're delicious. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on the Recap Lunch.